Okay guys, welcome to a new video. And it's been a while since I've done a pitch video. It's been like a couple months. Basically because I just want to take a break. I basically took breaks, but this was a longer break because also my birthday's this week, but I wanted to do it by my birthday, so we're doing it. But this was a long time coming. So this story is actually a TV show pitch. This is my TV show called MONSTERVERSE TITANTHOLOGY. Kind of like the same name as that comic book from when Godzilla vs. Kong came out. That was like a compilation of Godzilla, Aftershock, and Kong. Skull Island, like the birth of Kong. And it's basically, this is the first episode. It's like an anthology series that all tie together. It's kind of a Godzilla x Kong thing, because both Godzilla and Kong are in it. But this is just the first episode. I'm just gonna do the first episode. It's a lot, like it really is. So yeah, I'm just gonna do it. Here we go. Now, Kong's war with the surface. This is 2035. The story takes place in 2035. Kong's war with the surface continues as soldiers and apes are dying by the day. Tensions are high with the world nations on how to deal with the Titans. In the shadows, Jonah is creating a new orca. Jonah created and it is ready. Philadelphia, PA. So this episode takes place in Philadelphia. Yes, I love that. So yeah, there are. Okay.
5 minutes later.
Yes, one of the characters is named Jack Dano. They recently lost their parents during in Godzilla King's Awakening. Yes, the Queen Muto becomes Gigan. So Godzilla kills them at the beginning of the movie, of the story, and basically Godzilla it kills him. It kills her. He kills her. So basically, his parents died during that event. And yeah. So yeah, and he's going to school, and his brother Johnny has been taking care of him since. Jack, entering the school, is being bullied by a bigger person named Barney. Barney. As he kicks Jack down, someone said, "Back off, Barney, the dinosaur." It's kind of like the funny thing. This is the only scene with these characters. It is his three friends, Carter Hampton, Akko Yamane, and Sean Wright. These characters are basically, it's sad what happens to them. So let's get to that. They told the teacher, Mr. Taco, "Barney, get over here. I'm sick of bullies." Basically, it's kind of like my version of a reference to Mr. Taco from King Kong vs. Godzilla. That's my idea. In name and basically the same character, just a teacher. Jack then sees his friends. Barney walked away. Jack slowly gets up and tears come down his eyes. And then they're having a panic attack. Sirens roar across the city. A jet flies onto the school, knocking Jack out. 5 years ago. So this is during the Godzilla Queen Muto fight. Jack was 8. They were running across the street as tears fly past his face. Godzilla's roar is heard. Jack falls to the ground. Yes, he scraped his knee. Jack's dad's car stopped right in front of him. His dad's name is Jim. Jim got out and comforted him. Johnny was in the car, shocked. Jim says, "I'm so sorry. So Jim, his dad, says, "I'm so sorry." John was 14 at the time, so John is his brother, is Jack's brother, and Jim is the dad. Jim grabs his hand and a car, and they drive across the city to the nearest shelter. Jim stressed, veers off the road, getting into a car crash. Jim, his dad, is dead. Jack sobs in the back seat as the car door next to him opens. Johnny says, I got you." Johnny runs with Jack in his hand, in his arms. This is similar to The Last of Us. I want this story to be just as intense as The Last of Us, like as that whole first episode. And also, that's the only episode I saw of that show. I'm just not a big Last of Us fan, but man, the storytelling in that series is incredible. So yeah, Johnny is in his arms, and an explosion happens in the distance. The Queen Mito's head flies as the crowd, yes, by John, screams in horror. It's kind of like that scene in Godzilla -1 where all those people are getting crushed, and it's like that kind of intensity. That's what I want. And in horror, it crushes everyone. So it's similar to the Cloverfield scene where the Statue of Liberty head flies onto the streets, but this Mito head flies onto a crowd of people and kills them. And scary, and yeah, it's just fucked up. And basically, it crushes everyone. Godzilla walks out of the smoke, kind of veering in, kind of similar to the Godzilla 2014 shot, where Godzilla slowly comes in. It's like that cool. And Godzilla walks out of the smoke as Johnny looks in amazement. He breathes heavily. Yes, they try to scream, but Godzilla's roar is too loud. It walks away. As Jack wakes up, they are dropped onto the ground. Jack sees Johnny sobbing. Jack seizing the opportunity, comforts and hugs John, his brother. Jack wakes up and sees that everyone is dead. This is now. This is like right now, modern, or like the present of the MONSTERVERSE. You know, like it's 2035 now. It cuts back. Jack wakes up and sees that everyone is dead. Jack sees a giant yellow mass with tentacles and a pronged tail. Okay, so it's a giant mass with tentacles and a pronged tail. It is seen. So like the pronged tail. This monster is a sponge. It's a sponge monster. I was inspired off of Typhon from the MONSTERVERSE Declassified previews, and kind of wanted to do a sponge version of that, where it's like it's like Typhon's a starfish. So I kind of wanted to do the SpongeBob thing, where this monster is a sponge. That's what he is. And I forgot the name, but I'll have it up on the screen. So yeah, Jack Slow. Okay, so yeah, he does not know what it is. Jack slowly limps away. He limps and falls onto a soccer field. Johnny's car crashes onto the field. As Jack slowly gets up, Johnny grabs him, carries Jack to the car. Jack sees the monster's slit female genitalia-like mouth. So yes, I'm taking the Hedora thing. We're in the middle, where it's like I'm taking some cues from Private Parts. In the middle of its body, there's this slit that's similar to a female part, and it opens up, and it has these like circles inside of his mouth. I didn't draw that part. I do have a drawing of this guy, but I did not draw that part. So basically, the rings start spinning inside of the mouth, and basically that sucks up a whole bunch of people. Faster and faster, the dead bodies from the school start floating as they enter its mouth. That is scary. It's also inspired by the SpongeBob episode with the giant snails. From taking some SpongeBob inspiration again, there's this episode of SpongeBob from season 7 or 8 where there are these giant snails attacking like Bikini Bottom, and they do that, like they suck up people. Like there's this giant snail that sucks up a bunch of people. So I kind of did that in this, but with a giant sponge. So basically it's like reversed. SpongeBob is the monster in this. That is crazy. So yeah. Yeah, so Johnny watches in horror as they enter the car and drive off. Godzilla runs towards the giant as they clash. It wraps its tentacles, so it has tentacles. As you see in the drawing, it does have tentacles. So it wraps its tentacles around Godzilla. Godzilla bites into it, ripping a piece from its body. It instantly grows back like a sponge, or I think sponges do that. And it instantly grows back. Godzilla kicks them onto the ground and stomps on their chest. The mass blows Godzilla away. And also it can use it can use its mouth and its rings to push away monsters. They blow onto them, throwing them and stuff. So that's my idea. Like it's kind of like its powers that it can manipulate gravity with its mouth. That's what that is. So yeah, it kicks them onto the ground. The mass blows Godzilla away with its mouth. That sounded wrong. I'm sorry about that. What the Godzilla was overpowered. The mass sees their car, and it decides to chase it. So Johnny and Jack are fucked. This is scary. So the mass chases the car. Godzilla slowly gets up as the mass uses its tentacles to whip their car. They go flying. Johnny is knocked out. Johnny wakes up, stands up. Jack's leg is gone. Yes, Jack. So Jack, during that flashback, was like a child, was like a toddler. And now Jack is like in middle school. And Johnny is 19 years old. So that's my timeline for that. Jack's leg is gone. John carries him and hugs him, saying goodbye. They lose all hope. And at this point, Godzilla is knocked out. But not anymore, because they lose all hope as Godzilla's foot stomps right in front of them. They both bounce onto the sidewalk. Johnny uses himself as a shield to protect Jack. He sees Godzilla jump into the mass's mouth. It wraps its tentacles onto Godzilla, sucking Godzilla into its mouth. This kill is inspired by Godzilla 2000. You guys know the kill. It is really sick. I'm really excited that I wrote that into a MONSTERVERSE script. And basically, it basically sucks Godzilla in, but Godzilla, being smart, breathes his atomic breath into the monster's mouth, into the monster's hole, and it explodes. It dies. The mass is dead. So yeah, so Godzilla roars victoriously as a bunch of guts, or not guts, but like sponge pieces and green blood or whatever, fly up all over the place. Then a light is seen as a man in a helmet, pretty similar to the ending of Godzilla 2014, is right in front of them. The man's face, and in front of the man's face, tears come down from both Johnny and Jack's eyes. as they fly away onto a helicopter. A ringing is heard in Godzilla's ear. Whatever caused this is still out there. Godzilla angrily walks into the ocean. Shona, seeing on a screen, says, I guess I'll have to take more drastic measures. Hollow Earth. Kong, confused, heard the same ringing from over 10 years ago. They just got done destroying a mech from the government. Kong decides to go to the surface with a hunting party. That is a reference, like basically Kong heard this before, is a reference to the new game coming out tomorrow or today. I'm not sure when this video is going to come out. Kong Survivor Instinct. That is a tie-in to that. Little short reference. Depending on, I might put some references into this later on because I'm doing this as a series. So basically, I think this will be 4 parts, and that's what that is. So yeah, that's 4 parts. So this is the first part. So yeah, basically it ends with Jack wakes up in a hospital. So this is the ending of the first episode. All of that was just set up, while this is the ending of the episode. It has a clear ending, cute ending too. Jack wakes up in a hospital bed with John sitting in the chair next to him. John says, hey, before you get scared, we'll help you. I'll help you. Jack scared, takes the sheet off and sees his left leg gone. Tears come down his eyes. Jack then says, we'll do it together. That's that story. It has a complete ending. That is that. That's what I did. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it because I think this is cool. So I'm gonna do part 2 maybe in December or next month. I'm not sure. It all depends on how I'm feeling, because these take a while to make. It may take a while tonight too, to make this one. But yeah, that's it, guys. That's episode 1 of MONSTERVERSE Titanthology. So that's it, guys. See you guys later.